Hello everyone, hope you are staying at home. As our class continuation, today we are going to discuss about Streptococcus pneumoniae. And I think this is a much relevant topic nowadays in this corona infection scenario. In our class, we have discussed about Staphylococcus aureus, Streptococcus pyogenes, and the next organism is Streptococcus pneumoniae. So the classification of Streptococcus pneumoniae, it belongs to the kingdom Bacteria, phylum Firmicutes, class Diplococci, order Lactobacillus, family Streptococcaceae, genus Streptococcus, and the species Pneumoniae. It was formerly known as Pneumococcus. It was a common agent of pneumonia and it was first isolated by George Sternberg and the French chemist Louis Pasteur simultaneously, and both of them isolated them independently. So the Streptococcus pneumoniae is a normal inhabitant of upper respiratory tract. About 5 to 40% of the people is having this Streptococcus pneumoniae as a normal bacteria, and more than 40 to 70% of human beings are the natural carriers of this bacteria. And 60% of bacterial pneumonia is mainly due to this streptococci. So the pneumococci is of so many types, and the types 1 to 8 causes pneumonia in adults, whereas the types 6, 14, 19 and 23 causes pneumonia in children. So what are all the predisposing factors for this pneumonia? So if the person is already having any viral or other respiratory tract infection, or if the person is having regularly alcohol or a drug intoxication, if the person is having any abnormal circulatory dynamics, and apart from these, some other mechanisms like malnutrition, general debility, sickle cell anemia, hyposplenism, nephrosis, or any other complement deficiency. So simply, the immunocompromised individuals are more prone to this kind of infections. So coming to the morphology of Streptococcus pneumoniae, this Streptococcus pneumoniae is an encapsulated organism which is spherical, ovoid, lancet-shaped cocci. The size is around 0.5 to 1.25 micrometer. So the organism arrangement sometimes it may occur as a pair or it may occur as chains, and it depends upon its environmental condition. So this organism is a gram-positive cocci. Sometimes the whole cultures show negative result. So overall 90 serotypes were known, and it is having a unique polysaccharide capsule which is an important virulence factor, and it is also having a type specific antibody which gives protection to this bacteria. So the ultrastructure of the Streptococcus pneumoniae is similar to other gram-positive organisms. So a lipid bilayer surrounded by a rigid cell wall which is composed of peptidoglycan and teichoic acid, which contains the determinant for C polysaccharide antigenic activity. So again, the teichoic acid contains amino alcohol choline. The plasma membrane contains choline containing teichoic acid, which carries the F antigen. So coming to the cultural characteristics, this organism is a facultative anaerobe. It grows well at a pH between 7.4 to 7.8, and it requires choline as an absolute nutrient for its growth. It grows well in brine heart infusion agar, which is enriched with 5% defibrinated blood. The young cultures of this encapsulated organism produce circular, glistening, shiny colonies, shiny dome-shaped colonies, which is about 1 mm in diameter, and later the center of the colonies get collapsed. So whereas the uncapsulated strains produce rough. The Streptococcus pneumoniae is a facultatively anaerobic organism which may require oxygen, or sometimes it may not require oxygen. This organism shows catalase negative, and it also ferment some of the carbohydrates and yields lactic acid, hydrogen peroxide, acetic and formic acid. The aerobic incubation produces zone of alpha hemolysis, whereas the anaerobic incubation produces zone of beta hemolysis. And this organism is strictly catalase negative, and this is the important test which differentiates the Staphylococcus from Streptococcus. And this is one of the important tests which is used to differentiate the Streptococcus pneumoniae from Streptococcus viridans. That is the optogen test. The optogen inhibits the growth of pneumococci, whereas it enriches the growth of Streptococcus viridans. So, like that, another one important test is which is the bile salt test. Here, the bile activate an autolytic amidase which cleaves the bond between alanine and the muramic acid in the peptidoglycan, which results in microorganism lysis. So here the amidase is present in pneumococci, that is the Streptococcus pneumoniae, but it is absent in Streptococcus viridans. So these bile salts are very useful in differentiating the Streptococcus pneumoniae from Streptococcus viridans. The Streptococcus pneumoniae shows several clinical symptoms, which mainly includes pneumonia, bacteremia, and meningitis. So pneumonia mainly it affects the respiratory tract, whereas the bacteremia completely the body is invaded by bacteria, and meningitis it affects the brain. And the clinical features of Streptococcus pneumonia is characterized by abrupt onset of fever, shaking with a body chill, productive cough, pleuritic chest pain, dyspnea, tachypnea, and hypoxia. Dyspnea and tachypnea means difficulty in breathing, whether it may be low breathing or it may be high. Whereas hypoxia, it is a very low oxygen level in the blood. The pneumococcal disease in children is mainly associated by bacteremia. So here, without knowing the site of infection, this is a common clinical presentation of pneumococci in children. The Streptococcus pneumonia is the major cause of bacterial meningitis among the children, and it is also a common cause of acute otitis media, which is an ear infection. And these infection of Streptococcus pneumonia is presented by these clinical manifestations. So two types of clinical manifestations are there. One is the pulmonary infection and another one is extrapulmonary infection. So pulmonary infection is associated with respiratory tract problems like pneumonia. Then it also causes sinusitis and ear infections, and it completely invades the respiratory tract. It also causes pleural effusion and empyema, that is the accumulation of Streptococcus pneumoniae in the pleural cavity. And the next one is extrapulmonary infections. Apart from the respiratory tract infection, it also causes meningitis, which is the brain abscess. It also affects the heart by inflammation of pericardium and endocardium. It also completely evades the body by causing bacteremia. It also affects the bones by causing osteomyelitis, septic arthritis, and cellulitis, and peritonitis. So the epidemiology of pneumococcal disease, that is the epidemiology of the Streptococcus pneumonia infection, shows the first one, the reservoir is the human carriers like this COVID-19. The main reservoir is human carriers. And then the transmission is respiratory auto-inoculation by droplets of infected person. And then the temporal pattern, mainly its onset occurs during winter and early spring during the winter climate, and its communicability is unknown, probably as long as organism in respiratory secretions. So who are all at increased risk of this invasive pneumococcal disease? So children with a functional or anatomic asplenia, especially the sickle cell disease, and those children who are infected with the HIV, and children who belongs to natives of Alaska, Americans, and African Americans. And one more important reason is that children who are attending daycare centers, they can also be affected by this kind of pneumococcal infection, and it is an easiest way of transmission of pneumococcal infection. So the pneumococcal disease outbreaks is uncommon. It generally occurs in crowded environments like jails, nursing homes. Persons with the invasive disease often have underlying illness, and if the person is infected, it may have a high fatality rate. The next one is Cullen's reaction, which is a rapid and most useful test for identification of streptococcal pneumonia infection. This test identifies the specific type of pneumococci in sputum, spinal fluid, exudates, or culture. So here in this procedure, the pneumococcal specimen, whether it may be sputum sample or spinal fluid or exudates, it has to be mixed with the anti-pneumococcal serum and the dimethylene blue. If it is a positive, means it shows a refractile and swollen capsules on oil immersion. And another one test is also there, that is animal inoculation. In that, a mice is injected with sputum infected with pneumococci, and if it is positive, means the mice would be dead within 16 to 48 hours of injection of pneumococci. So the next one will be the antigenic structure of Streptococcus pneumoniae, and we will discuss that in next class. Thank you.